Everybody, moment of silence for Bill Walton. Okay. Thank you, Bill. No. Caitlin Clark got
Dude, we're
assaulted.
not starting. We are not starting the podcast with Caitlin
You
Clark.
are the one who said it.
I said it before. I'm scrolling through ESPN. I said Caitlin Clark got bitched by that other girl. That's what I said.
By the way, where the fuck is my Diet Pepsi?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Fucking unbelievable.
That's how much I care about the NBA expert here. How much I care about the NBA. Yeah. I completely forgot about the Pacers. The Pacers Knicks series was more compelling because everybody was going down like a sack of potatoes and everybody was nearly dead out there on the floor. So that was more compelling, and it went 7 games after I started down 2-0. But as soon as the Mavs went up 3-0, I just completely forgot about the Diet Pepsi. But you will get your Diet Pepsi. Congratulations on a big win for the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, the fighting Luka Doncic's.
I can't even celebrate my victories on here. You just take everything away from me.
Now, to be fair, when you did bring the case of Pepsi, and I believe I took one for the road and I sent you home with the rest.
That was your choice.
But
I brought it here.
But I do drink a lot of Diet Pepsis in the media room, so I will get a case of Diet Pepsis for everybody. And
no,
then
I just want a six-pack.
Big Dog will say, no one buys me drinks, and then he'll act like he's going to cash at me like $6, but he won't.
But and then
I'll be like, please don't cash at me $6.
Yeah, because it'll be stuck in your Cash App. You'll never be able to get it out. By the way, I don't think we talked about Big Dog breaking his finger on the podcast last week playing pickleball against us. Did we mention that?
No.
It's all right. I'm Bailey's correcting me. I apologize. It's his tendon. It's called a mallet finger, I believe. And he tore it when I hit a winner against him in pickleball. He met Bailey's mom this weekend. He was trying to say that he was up 10-0 and I hadn't gotten a single point on him. And the opposite was true. I was actually playing him and my mom 1-on-2 and I beat them 11-0. Regardless, he did have a serious finger injury and it is the left hand. So it's like guitar, which is kind of funny, but not funny.
God.
Yeah.
If this finger takes Big Dog away from America playing guitars, and after all he's been through with the wars and everything else, which we're going to get to maybe a little later
no,
this
we're
episode.
Not.
Yeah, Bailey's holding up the hat.
Dear Lord.
We'll have to see what he says about it. But if that finger takes away his ability to play guitar and robs America of that talent, things will never be the same. Actually, you know what's hilarious about that? And obviously I know he's not retiring from guitar, but I noticed the other day when I was scrolling through Facebook, he had posted a guitar to Facebook Marketplace. Like he's got to call it quits. Like I could see him be like, oh, sorry, my finger, mallet finger took away my joy, boys.
I would have made it big.
Guitar so I would have made it big.
This is why I didn't make it big.
First of all, he did make it big. Let's get that straight. But the mallet finger took away his ability to go platinum again.
So you're saying that he hasn't made it big until he was going to now?
No. He has multiple times. This would just be his like
an additional one?
He's a senior at this point. It's like the senior tour on the PGA, okay? This would be his senior tour platinum. Speaking of that, and Bailey might be able to tell us, and I'm sure he'll be able to tell us a little bit more on the podcast. Have any of those singles come out yet? The record and music videos, Bailey, do we know?
Do we care?
Has anything been released?
Does anyone care?
Oh, Bailey says it's classified.
Does anybody actually give a shit? No, they don't.
His fans all over the world care.
By the way, I was telling Bailey the other day that I didn't know this. Did you know John Daly was from Knoxville?
Adds up, but no.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was his hometown.
I didn't either. I thought that was ironic. I was just thinking about that because I saw a little post and I thought this was a good little topic we could talk about.
I know his hometown now is basically where his stomping grounds are is that Hooters in Tampa where they built like a little office for him in the back and he's got a hangout area.
He talked about on that Tucker Carlson show that he has they gave him a card and it was like a card that you got even it says like, even though I'm rich, or even though I'm a celebrity, even though I'm rich, I never pay for my food at Hooters, only drinks. So it's like, if he goes to Hooters anywhere, whoever's with him, all the food is free. but he doesn't, except for alcohol, it doesn't get alcohol free. Something like that. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Hooters still probably makes a few bucks just on that alcohol order, I would think.
But I was debating somebody about this the other day, and I think, okay, there was a post that I saw, and it was, what is the biggest long shot to ever hit in sports? And I think somebody said Rich Strike winning the Kentucky Derby was one. That was a crazy one.
That horse was in dead last.
Yeah.
I think Mind That Bird too was another one, but that was on a sloppy track and he came from the back.
Yeah, the U.S. hockey team, obviously, in the 1980 Olympics was one. They were, I think, 1,000 to 1 to win.
Oh, really? Wow.
But then there was one, I didn't know what this was, but apparently, I might butcher this. You should know this. Leicester City, is that the name of the team?
Yeah, Leicester City.
Winning
the Premier League.
5,000 to 1 in 2015. They were supposed to be relegated and ended up.
Yeah, that's winning. Actually probably the most obscure.
You think that's more crazy than John Daly winning the PGA as the 9th alternate? What's crazier?
Oh, as a 9th alternate?
Because think about it.
He got into the tournament. Yeah, no,
think about what, like, obviously there's no odds, right? Like, if you're the 9th alternate, but think about what the odds would have to be. So if you're the last, the PGA is one of the bigger in terms of, like, numbers of player majors, right? So what is there, 150 people who play in that tournament? Something like that. Yeah. And so what do you think the worst person in the tournament who actually plays is probably what, 500 to 1,000 to 1, something like that?
Well, no, because you have the PGA. Okay, half of them, 20 of them are like the
take
PGA
those
pros.
guys out.
So you basically take them
take
out.
Those guys out. Besides those guys, what do you think the longest odds are
to win? Besides those guys, 500 to 1.
Okay, so 500 to 1. Now, if you just think about extrapolating that out, you need 9 guys to drop out for you to even get in to be at 500 to 1. It's got to be somewhere close to Leicester City. I don't know which one is bigger, but that's only. I was having that debate. Somebody was saying, no, it's not even close. I'm like, yeah, but if you think about the odds of a guy winning a golf tournament, let alone a major, and you're the 9th alternate to even get into the tournament.
It's the 9th alternate thing that makes it even comparable, obviously, right?
Right. If it was just to win the tournament, it wouldn't.
I would have to see how, as the 9th alternate, he ended up, what all happened with people, bowing out.
No, it was literally it was like crazy. It was like the first guy, like, wasn't feeling like his game he wasn't on top of his game. And so he, like, just decided, I'm going to drop out. The next guy was like getting married in a week, didn't want to go. The next guy had a, shoulder injury all of a sudden. It was just like thing after thing after thing, like crazy parlay of odds to happen.
Yeah.
And we probably never get John Daly if that doesn't happen. Who knows? Maybe we do, but maybe not.
That is a crazy one. Leicester winning the Premier League was insane. I mean, they were a much better team on paper, obviously, than people gave them credit for, because they obviously won the Premier League. But with no playoffs, especially, right, in the Premier League, you're just playing 38 games.
You have to be the best team.
After the 38 games, you have to be the best team. And there's clubs like Man City, Liverpool, Manchester United back then was obviously still really, really good. Chelsea was good. So the fact that they, after 38 games, were just the best is really insane.
Actually,
when you go and, playoff run, let's say it's like the NFL playoffs, you could obviously win 3 or 4 games in a row and string it together and get lucky. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen, but being the best after 38 games is wild. That's why the odds, like, on those, to win the Premier League are like that, because it's nearly impossible. It is impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll never happen again. Something like that will never happen again.
That's
crazy. The John Daly one is wild. Yeah, I mean, you could argue both sides of it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, both of those are maybe you could argue the same thing about John Daly. Like, yeah, like Leicester City had talent because they're a Premier League team, but John Daly was a professional golfer. Is the same thing. I just think, with a soccer team, and I'm not saying that's not crazy. Just like with the soccer team, there's how many teams in that league? How many teams are in the Premier League? 18?
20.
20. So there's, golf alone to win a tournament, beat 130, 150 people.
Yeah, I would
in a major tournament.
I would make the argument though, because it's, in soccer, and we can get off this, but it's just those teams spend like 50 times more money than Leicester, or whatever it is. Back then there was really no hard cap in soccer, and there still is no hard cap. There's all kinds of stuff. That's a discussion for another time. Fair play rules with UEFA and all kinds of stuff like that. But John Daly, the one thing I will say is what makes it so crazy is the alternate deal, because although John Daly may have not had like the game those other guys did back then, John Daly still hit the ball way further than everybody.
Right.
So, and you're only playing 4 rounds of golf, right? So if those things add up and he's driving the ball, which he drives it better than everybody else, and he's making putts, back then he could beat anybody, you know?
Right.
So he wasn't beating Tiger in his prime, obviously. This is before that. But I'm just saying, he had the firepower to beat people. But the whole 9th alternate thing's wild. I guess, yeah, everybody got sick or didn't want to play.
It's crazy.
Their game was falling apart. And thankful for that we got John Daly.
Best thing I saw this week, if you have something you can go, I'm going to give mine, and I think you'll like this. Bill Walton, we know, passed. This happened before last week's episode. We didn't really get to talk about it, but obviously we're both big Bill Walton fans. More so on the commentary side as a showman than as a player, but he was a great player as well. And he was a known, and you mentioned this on the podcast last week, huge Deadhead, Grateful Dead fan. He claimed he had gone to over 800 Grateful Dead shows, live shows. And so this weekend, the Grateful Dead played at the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is ironically where Bill's beloved Conference of Champions, the Pac-12, played their final football game. Final basketball game at the Pac-12 tournament.
Yeah, T-Mobile Center there.
Yeah, and so they played a song in tribute to Bill. They played the song "Fire on the Mountain," and behind them was this montage of Bill Walton and all the greatest moments of him at the Grateful Dead shows, which was awesome. I thought that was very, very cool. Super cool moment. We've talked about Bill, for a long time off air, phenomenal commentator, despite the fact that I'm sure a lot of people think he's annoying, but he was fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He ate a cupcake with a lit candle in it live on the air. He took his shirt off live on the air, rubbing dirt on himself. I mean, just the stuff he would do. He was an absolute showman, but yeah, anyway.
Classic. Yeah, I don't need to add any more. Best thing I saw this week. I saw that too, and I was like, man, that's awesome that they did that for him. Those guys were like really good friends of his. It wasn't like he was just a fan. I mean, he was like, I know he told a story to Big Cat and PFT that he got the guy who was like in charge of their library of music that would make certain decisions on stuff, legitimately got him his job because the guy gave him the shirt off his back and was like, Bill was like, that's an awesome shirt. And then they were leaving the arena and he was like, hey, screaming. And Bill just lifted him up over the gate and was like, you're coming with us. And he goes, yeah, I worked for the Grateful Dead for another 30 years.
That's unbelievable,
And I was
dude.
like, yeah. So just crazy stories like that. Also, diehard Beach Boys fan. I love the Beach Boys as well. So,
all right. Well, let's talk a little bit. We got to get into the NBA Finals. I know you're thrilled that we're almost done with the NBA.
Almost done, baby.
We only have about 3 weeks left. So the Celtics opened at, we were debating this pre-game 1 odds coming out, what the odds would be. I think you said it would be somewhere around plus 170, plus 175. I said it was going to be somewhere around plus 200. It fell right in the middle of that. I think it opened, I can't remember if it was plus Mavs at plus 185 or plus 190, but
yeah, I don't know.
It's down now. We both thought this would I said I thought it would go down too. Boston's minus 210, Dallas plus 175 in the series. So we're seeing some support for the Mavericks here. And so I guess let's start with just the Celtics have been the best team all year. The Mavericks are the hottest team in the playoffs right now, right? They're the 5 seed in the West. They weren't a top 4 seed even, but they are not only the hottest team, they're not only playing the best defense of anybody right now, but they also have the best player on the planet at this moment in Luka Doncic, at least in my belief. Do you lean more towards the Celtics' body of work with their whole team being probably a little bit more talented than Dallas, or do you lean more towards the star power with Doncic and Kyrie Irving?
I'm going to lean Mavs probably because just, and I can't believe I'm saying that I'm a Mavs homer living in San Antonio, because I'm certainly not. Like, I don't like the Dallas Mavericks. I love watching Luka play, and my whole thing, and I've talked to you about it, is I know that Brown and Tatum have been pretty good these playoffs, but they've gotten to this point before. They've never been able to get on the top of the mountain. And if I'm picking between Kyrie and Luka versus Tatum and Brown in the NBA Finals, I just trust Luka and Kyrie more. Kyrie's won one before. Like you said, Luka's playing better than anybody on the planet. So, I mean, it's just that's where I go with it. I don't know. I know they say Porzingis is going to play. I'm still not a believer. I definitely think he's going to give it a go. Who knows how healthy he is? When you're 7'4" or whatever the hell that guy is, and you're dealing with a calf injury. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
You're dealing with a calf injury. Who knows how healthy he's going to be? And you put Al Horford and Bailey's boy Cornette out there against the athletic bigs for the Mavericks. Can't stop them, can only hope to contain them.
That's right.
But I just, not much of a detailed look for me, but that's just going into it. That's what I see. I think the Celtics killed them in the regular season, didn't they? In their matchups?
They played twice.
I mean, I don't look. That's my whole thing, though. Someone was asking me about that the other day. I was like, I'm the wrong guy to ask about basketball, but I will say I look zero into the regular season. Yeah. Those games to me just don't. And I know some people will say, oh, you have to, but you throw that all out the window in the NBA Finals. Regular season games in the NBA, I have no idea. But, Luka could have been sitting out those games. I have no idea. So maybe he played and Holiday shut him down. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting. That's the big matchup for me, right? I think we talked about it at the house. If Drew Holiday can slow him down, that'll make a huge difference. Yeah. So, and he's a great defender, so he might be able to just do that. I think Luka's a little bit too big for him, and Luka likes taking fadeaways anyway, but Holiday really, really can defend. So,
well, I was thinking about that matchup, and I want to touch on a few things you said, but thinking about that matchup specifically, to me, and I think Charles might have said this, and Shaq was like, you're not even close to right, but somebody, I know Reggie Miller said it for sure, but I think Charles said it as well, that Boston has 4 guys who can guard Luka, which is delusional. So to me, Tatum and Brown cannot guard Luka anyway, but even if they could, I don't think they would put them on Luka to start the game. Too much energy expended guarding that guy. And I mean, we saw it when Anthony Edwards was forced to guard, it burnt him out. And I know he's younger and hadn't experienced that deep of a run, but I think that matters. So I don't think they're going to start on him. So that leaves 2 guys, right? And that's Drew Holiday and Derek White. Both all defensive guys, but Drew Holiday's far beyond the defensive player that Derek White is. Derek White just plays really hard and does the right things, and he's a good defensive player. I'm not shitting on Derek White, but Drew Holiday is, like, in my opinion, the best perimeter defender in the world. And I've actually been super impressed with Holiday through these playoffs. Now, my thing is, if you put Drew Holiday on Luka, then I guess you could put Derek White on Kyrie. But the problem is, and I think you might have mentioned this, the size difference between Drew Holiday and Luka. Like, I just don't know. Is Holiday really going to bother him? He makes tough shots anyway. Like, what exactly would you? I almost would rather Drew Holiday stay on Kyrie, shut him down, and just say, okay, beat us without Kyrie, because kind of been proven when Kyrie struggles, they have a tough time winning. I mean, and that's how they're built. They have to have both guys play well.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I wouldn't be surprised to do that. Now, that said, I don't think Derek White has a shot at all at slowing down Luka. So then you get to the point where it's dangerous, where if you get in bad spots because you can't stay in front of Luka, now you put other guys at risk and you're rotating. But all that said, to me, all that's negated by the fact that Boston switches everything. That's been their MO all year for the last 2 years. They switch every screen. So to me, it actually is going to be really interesting to see what Joe Mazzulla does here. I don't want to get too in-depth on the X's and O's here, but just think about it from a logical perspective. If you're switching every screen, guard to guard, the one place they'll try not to switch, like obviously they've had Horford at the big, but they'll try not to switch their big man, right? They'll try to leave their big man. So, it's going to be Porzingis probably, and then Horford off the bench, maybe a little bit of sprinkled in Luke Cornette. But they're going to have them in drop coverage. My thing is, how is this any different? And tell me if you disagree. How is this any different than the T-Wolves series from a defensive perspective? Porzingis, even if he plays and is healthy, which is a stretch, he's going to play, but I don't think he's 100%. Even if he plays and is 100%, him and Horford and Cornette are going to sit in drop coverage the same exact way that Minnesota did, or they're going to switch, and then Luka's going to have whoever on him every time, or Kyrie. How is that going to be any different? They have the same type of guys that the T-Wolves had, where you just are going to abuse the matchup in the ball screen. I don't see how this is any different here.
Yeah, I mean, you're the X's and O's basketball guy, but it sounds right to me. I mean, I just don't. The Al Horford matchup is just, I don't know what they're going to do with him. They're going to really need Porzingis to be healthy, I think.
Yep.
And I agree with you. I mean, either way, I think they're in trouble with those matchups. But Porzingis, when he's healthy, is a much better, bigger than Al Horford and more athletic at this point than Al Horford,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're the X's and O's breakdown, man. You were spot on about the Gobert and that matchup. He got abused. And I was just like,
it was bad.
At that point when they're down 3-0, I just feel like, I know they're not going to do it, but it's just get Gobert out and just go small. Because you're down 3-0. I know some of them were close games, right? But you're down 3-0. You got to have a spark. And Naz Reid is that spark for that T-Wolves team when he's in. They play harder, and I just think they're better with that lineup. But the coach is just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in two of those games.
And also, like you said, though, too, it's 100% true. It's like in the course of an 82-game season, right? You're not going to, when you play the T-Wolves after, a game back-to-back or the next day, and you have a day to prepare for him, you're not changing everything you do to prepare for Gobert. So he's effective because you're playing the exact same game you're playing. But in a playoff series, you can just change everything. We're playing this team maybe 7 times. So.
And they just kept doing it, and they never adjusted. They tried to trap. The only thing they did was they tried to trap the ball screens. And when Derek Lively was healthy, they had no shot because they would just throw it to Lively. He's a real good decision maker when catching in the middle there. And they'd get a wide open 3 or a layup on the.
What's the deal with him? Is he going to be
healthy?
He
played in game 5 and he got hit again in game 5. Naz Reid got a flagrant foul hitting him in the head. Almost like he tried to take him out. But he did. Naz. But he did play, and he'll be good to go. That's the other thing. I want to come back and touch on a few more things here, but it's so stupid to me that we just played 2 conference final series where we had no travel days. Every single game was day on, day off, day on, day off, day on. There was 1 day in between every game, regardless of travel, regardless of game, going from game 4 to game 5, game 6 to game 7. And it didn't matter because both series were short, 4 and 5 games, but it could have. And we've seen that for most of the playoffs. And now we go to the finals where all but I believe 2 of the games, there's 2 days in between every game. And, I understand that from a media perspective of you want to have it on certain days that are better for broadcasting the finals, but it's just, there's no consistency in how you play. So you're going to play the playoffs the whole time through this way and then have this many days in between every break. That's weird to me. I guess.
No, yeah, I don't like it either. I mean, this always happens with the finals when there's short series in the East or West. You sit here for a week waiting for them to start. And then between game 1 and game 2, is there 2 days or is there only 1, hopefully?
There's 2 in between every game except for, I believe,
3 and 4 or something.
It's 2 travel days. I think it's 4 to 5, or it might be 2 to 3 and 4 to 5.
Oh, do they in the finals? Do they still do 2-3-2?
No, they switched it back.
They switched it back. I couldn't remember.
The last time they did 2-3-2 was actually when the Spurs Heat played in 13. It was 2-3-2.
Yeah,
and then the 14 they played, it was back to 2-2-1-1-1.
Okay,
so they actually
it's been like that. It's been like that for 10 years.
Yeah,
got it.
But I mean, rightfully so. The road team should never have the ability. The lower seeded team should never have the ability to go ahead in the series based on home court.
Yeah.
That was a dumb.
Yeah, playing
way to do
3.
it.
If you steal 1 and then playing 3 at home is a huge advantage.
It's a huge advantage. So I didn't like that. But the last thing I'll touch on here is the Celtics, to me, just really haven't been tested throughout these playoffs. I heard somebody give this stat that in the regular, and again, you mentioned this, throw the regular season out, right? Like T-Wolves got swept by the Suns in the regular season and then swept them in the playoffs. So it doesn't matter a lot of the time. But in the regular season, Boston against the top 4 seeds in the West, I believe, was 500.
Yeah.
And so they didn't play well against, or they didn't play elite against lower or higher competition. Against lower competition, they dominated. They were historic offensively from an offensive efficiency standpoint. But they're playing a team that is in that upper echelon. Like at this point, if you reseeded the West, the Mavs are playing better than any team in the West. They're the best team in the West. That's why they won the conference, and they did it in 5 games against the T-Wolves, who everybody thought was going to come out of the West after beating Denver. And so you look at Boston's road to get here, and it's kind of similar to the regular season. The first round, they played the Heat. No Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier. You're missing 2 of your top 4 players, including your best player, the entire series. Didn't play a single minute. Series number 2, you play Cleveland, who were not good to start. They're missing Jared Allen, their starting center. Didn't play the whole series. Donovan Mitchell sits out games 4 and 5. So you really won 2 games against a healthy Cavs team. And then in the series against the Pacers, you can say whatever you want. The Pacers lost game 1. The Celtics did not win that game. They were handed that game. That game was over. So they should have lost to the Pacers game 1. They only played 2 games against a healthy Pacers team. Halliburton goes down after game 2. And even games 3 and 4, they didn't.
Was it game 3 or 4 where the Pacers were up 5 with a minute left, and then the
3 and game 4 they were up. Both 3 of the games they were down by more than 5 in the final 5 minutes of the game, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give the Celtics at least a little bit of credit in the sense that I don't think they're very good, but in the end of the games in those series, I'm not gonna say they're not good. Just their record is a little inflated, right? Playing in the East, but I will say in those games. And it's also a credit to how horrible Indiana's defense is.
Oh, yeah.
But I was looking at the game cast for one when they were up 5 and lost. And to close the game, Boston scored on like 9 straight possessions. And
crazy.
I'm like, oh my God. How can you not? And then you go back and look at some of the plays. You're just like, wide open 3, layup. And you're just like, this is the worst defensive team I've ever seen. And the Pacers would typically go back down and score, but then Siakam was a bum in that series.
Yeah.
Like at least late in the game, like I think it was 3. He had a turnover, missed like 2 shots, and I'm like, why is this guy taking the shot? And then I think it was game 3. Nebhard played well, but then he missed a look that would have put him back up. That was a really good, clean mid-range look. So
and then he missed the shot to tie it.
Yeah,
too.
The Pacers just kind of fell apart in crunch time in those games, but legitimately could have been up through 4 games 3-1, right? I mean, very easily.
Exactly.
I mean, game 1, they absolutely should have won.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like the Celtics lost it, and Brown hits that just unreal lucky shot. I mean, great shot, but very lucky to have that go in and no foul, and then lose the ball in the inbounds before that to even have that shot.
That was T.J. McConnell's fault, by the way. He didn't switch out to the corner. How T.J. McConnell, that's why he's not allowed on the wall of grit when I get it up here. He's not going on the wall of grit. Cost them the series. No, I agree with you. That's why I was so frustrated that the Pacers were in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's like, this is the worst fucking team I've ever seen get to a conference finals. What the fuck are we watching?
And even so, like I said, like we were talking about, they could have. It should have been 2-2 at worst. Probably should have been 3-1 through 4
exactly.
games. And they got swept, right? Yeah, it was.
They got swept. Yep.
So
now, again, that said, in the last 6 games, the 4 games against the Pacers and the 2 last games against the Cavs, the Boston Celtics were 1-5 against the spread, despite being 5-1 straight up, which means they're underperforming compared to expectation against lower quality teams. Now you're playing a healthy, very good Mavericks team in, the biggest stage in basketball, and you choked last time you were here against the Warriors, and that's what it comes down to for me. So one, I don't believe, and I've said this, and I bet the Celtics, but mainly because I thought it was going to be them and the Timberwolves. Kind of when I saw the Timberwolves go up 2-0 on the Nuggets in Denver, I was like, okay, I like the odds here because I think they'll beat the Minnesota. It's a terrible matchup for Minnesota. But I don't trust them to win a championship against a good team. And the way Dallas is playing right now, I don't know that I believe they're going to win. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to my ticket or hedge it out and take the Mavericks. But I tell you what, I don't trust Joe Mazzulla and I don't trust Jason Tatum. I can tell you that for damn sure. And I do trust Luka Doncic. He's an absolute stone-cold killer. Also, if you like the Mavericks in the series, I feel like you are better off taking Luka to win the MVP. I think he's like 15 percentage points higher in terms of like better odds for you if you bet him to win MVP as opposed to the Mavericks winning the series.
What is he to win MVP? Like 2-1 or something?
Yeah, I think he's like plus 195 and they're like plus 175 right now.
Yeah, the only scary thing about that is if they do put Drew Holiday, what if Kyrie scores 30 and 40? I mean, I get what you're saying.
To me, if Luka doesn't play well,
there's no
lose.
way they win, yeah.
So it's like, and I agree with you, like it may be a little bit of a risk, but to me, they have zero, like he can't play. He can't play good. He's got to play great. And so if he plays great, doesn't matter what Kyrie does, he's going to get MVP. If all things are equal, they're giving it to Luka. They want him to be the face of the league, right? Like, to me, Kyrie...
I agree with
also,
that.
If you just look at them, like Luka's bad games, he's going to shoot poorly. He's still going to score 25 to 30, and he's going to have close to a triple-double. Kyrie can easily have one game with 9 points. He's done that in the playoffs 3 or 4 times. So, to me, I think that's what Kyrie's 16-1. Kyrie is 16-1. Lucas plus 190. Like, there's a reason that's the number.
Yeah.
And if you really, I mean, in that case, you could throw a few bucks on Kyrie and have a better, like, you could make more money. Yeah, you could make more money if he hits, and it's like, okay. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna say, give me your prediction for this series. Like, who wins and what's the number of games? Mavs in 6. Give me like exactly how it goes.
Oh,
I'm going to say Mavs.
Mavs game 1. Celtics game 2. Mavs, Celtics, Mavs.
Okay. Mavs, Celtics, Mavs.
I think that's the right number of games. I don't fucking know. I'll go with that one.
Mavs, Celtics. That's right. Okay. I'm going to say Celtics win game 1. Mavs win 2 and 3. Celtics win game 4. Mavs win games 5 and 6. The same way they won the first 2 series. That's what I think is going to happen. But I agree. I think it's going to be Mavs in 6. I think if the Mavs don't win in 6 and it goes back to a game 7. No, I take that back.
I don't know. Boston.
They suck at home.
They're worse at home.
They're worse at home. And
somehow.
Luka's so damn good on the road. Anywhere he's good. I don't know.
The only problem for the Mavs, though, and we said we were going to touch on this here, though, is that Dave Portnoy may have sold his soul to the devil. And, you could make an argument that he did that years ago when he sold his company for like $100 million, bought it back for $1. But his gambling career has been horrible. And he's won every bet he's made like the last 6 months.
He's
got
a
live ticket with Edmonton to win $1.4 million. And then if the Celtics win, it's like another 1.6, right? And he parlayed that with Scotty Scheffler
to win the RBC Heritage.
Yeah, which was like a month and a half ago.
Plus 450.
Yeah, and the Celtics, which is just hysterical.
And they're all alive.
So if those all win, then I have questions for Dave. I don't know what he's been doing in Nantucket.
The only reason I think
wild.
I don't think Edmonton's going to win, so I think he'll lose that one.
Neither do I, but I didn't think they were going to beat the Stars either.
Yeah, true. But
Skinner's standing on his head, stopping everything.
I don't know what. Yeah, that's unreal. We'll get to that in a second, but that was crazy. But yes, I don't think Edmonton will win, but if they could, and Boston's obviously a favorite. I mean, he's sitting there holding a plus 500 to 700 ticket on a minus 200 favorite. So sitting pretty. He easily has hedge opportunities. I don't know if he would actually do that.
So funny enough, it was a funny video. He was, I'm going to get ahead of this, whatever. He's like, Dave doesn't have confidence in the Celtics. Dave's hedging. Like before the Mavs series, he took the Wolves to win the title, like as a semi-hedge. But now the Wolves didn't get there. So now it's, I don't know if he's going to hedge or not. If he does, he won't make it public. I don't think he will. I think he's going to let it ride just because he's been on such a heater. He might put a couple $100,000 on the Mavs just to cover that Wolves and whatever. He certainly might do that.
I would do that.
He's not going to let people know.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't know who it was like, I think Big Cat called him out on like a hedge, and he found out that he hedged and was like, I'm going to get out in front of this now. Of course I have confidence in the Celtics. But he had hedged, so it was a pretty funny video.
If I was a Celtics fan over the last, 15 years with this group, especially Tatum and Brown, I'd hedge in a fucking second. Yeah. I wouldn't hesitate. I would definitely hedge on the Oilers too. I mean, you're getting that one at 7-1. I don't know what the Celtics one. It might be the same, but 7-1. You can hedge on.
What is Florida in that series? -165?
No,
or like that?
-125. Crazy. It was -125 plus 105 last night. I don't know if that stayed, but that's what it was. They were showing.
That shows you the disrespect that Vegas had for the New York Rangers. They didn't think they were very good because, anyway, the odds were Florida was a bigger favorite in that series.
Go ahead. Let's talk about that because, Stanley Cup Finals are set. It's the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. The Panthers took out the Rangers, and the Oilers finished off the Stars last night. Both won in 6 games. Last night was crazy. The Oilers won the game despite just having 10 shots on goal. Of course, I had a bet on the Dallas Stars. And so they set a record. They tied the all-time record for least amount of shots on goal while winning a playoff game with 10. Yet won 2-1. That the last time that happened was 1990, the New Jersey Devils. Is that the right team, New Jersey Devils?
Yeah.
And then 1974 Chicago Blackhawks. So it hadn't happened in 34 years. And of course, I made it happen last night.
And that's back when hockey was like so much more defensive, right? Where it was like you would go up. Like I've heard Barry Melrose talk about this. He's the big hockey analyst for ESPN. He was like, back when you would go up 1 goal in the third period, like it would say like game's over because they would just literally flick it into the corners and just like kill time, like not even try to get a shot off, just play defense basically. So, and then, you're talking about probably the most dynamic offense in the entire league in Edmonton, only have 10 shots in the game and still win. Like I'm telling you right now, if you told the Stars, hey, before game 5 and 6, because they finished it in 6, right?
Yeah.
Edmonton. If you say, hey, game 5, you're going to hold them to 3 goals. In game 6, you're going to hold them to 2 goals. Dallas would have signed up because, in a 3-goal, you have a probably a slightly above 50% chance of winning that against Edmonton, the way they play defense at home. And in 2 goals, you absolutely think you're going to end up winning that. So Dallas would have, taken that deal both times. I mean, obviously, you don't want to let them score 3 goals, but with a team like Edmonton that gives up a ton of goals, it's typically except when you're betting against them. So
yeah, and I mean, and you look at it, the Oilers didn't score. I believe they only scored power play goals.
So
with
in
the
game
exception
6,
of
was
one.
it power play goals too?
So yeah, so they had 2. It was the exact same thing. 2 power play goals in the first period, and they were quick into the power play. The first one, I think, was McDavid. I can't remember.
I think it was.
I think it was McDavid. And he made like a ridiculous move through like 3 guys and scored. And then the second one is what hurt because the second one should not have been a goal. And Ottinger was just, I don't know what he was doing. And it was a pretty easy save. It looked like. I say that. I'm obviously no hockey goalies. It's very difficult. But for how good he is, he normally makes that save relatively easily. And it kind of came because the Stars didn't clear they had an easy clear and tried to play around with it. Anyway, they scored 2 power play goals there. They scored 2 power play goals, and I think they had 1 regular goal in game 5. But the Stars were like 0 for 7 on power plays in those, and Edmonton has killed off. The Stars did not score on a power play the entire series. Edmonton had killed off 28 straight power plays.
Yeah, which is crazy. I don't think their kill was near that good in the regular season, their penalty kill, so defense is rising to the occasion, I guess. I guess they constantly hear that it's the defense that's so shitty why they never win. They're doing stuff. But like you said, didn't you say Dallas hit like 1 million posts yesterday?
They did. They hit. They hit like 5 posts. Yeah,
if those aren't going in, you can't really do much about it. So.
And there was like 1 really good save. I mean, they had 35 shots on goal. The guy saved 34 of them. And
that's always brutal when you outshoot someone like that and lose.
Yeah. But who do you like? I know you picked the Panthers to be here.
Sticking with the Panthers.
Who'd you pick to play them?
The Avalanche. They lost to the Stars.
They lost to the Stars. That's right.
Yeah, they lost in the middle of that Star series. I think they lost their best defenseman and somebody else. So that didn't help them. But the Stars kind of stymied them, which I thought they would do to Edmonton. But credit to Ed. I mean, I guess they really did. They held them to 10 shots, and Edmonton's really only scoring on the power play. But that's hockey. Credit to Edmonton and getting through it. Skinner's playing good. I can't imagine Skinner's going to hold up and play this great against Florida. And Bobrovsky's a much better goalie than him in Florida. Florida is a more complete team, but who knows? Maybe it's just Edmonton's year. Portnoy's got that ticket. He hadn't lost in a long time, so who knows?
Would Florida have been favored against Dallas here?
Yeah. It probably would have been like a straight pick.
Because Dallas was like what, minus 120 against Edmonton?
I think Dallas would have had, let's see, I think Dallas would have had home ice. So yeah. Probably would have been like
who has home ice?
Well, Florida was the one. Let's see. Florida had, what are the points? 110 to, yeah, Dallas would have had home ice. Dallas probably would have been a slight favorite. Yeah, slight favorite.
Florida has home ice over the Oilers, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So the first game I think is Saturday, and that game will be in Florida. Their second year in a row. Obviously, this is not a last year was like a Cinderella run. They were the 8th seed. This year they're much better. I know you picked them to get there.
Oh yeah, so Florida was actually just number 1 in their division, 110 points. They were the 3 seed.
Gotcha.
The Rangers were the President's Trophy, and the Rangers only won the President's Trophy by 1 point over the Stars. They had 114 points, Stars at 113.
Interesting how we
close.
tended, like last year the Bruins won the President's Cup and were out in the first round of the Panthers, and then this year we have neither of the teams in the Stanley Cup final who were top 2.
Yeah, they said the President's Cup's a curse. You don't ever really.
You don't want it. You're just never going to win.
I think the superstition is you don't like when you win it, they bring it out, but you don't touch it because it's like not the cup you want. That's the old hockey. But someone might as well start touching it now because I guess that's not working. His President's Cup trophy team has not won, at least I can remember, lately. Now the Lightning, maybe when they won the Stanley Cup not too long ago, they may have won the President's Cup, but I don't really remember. So
all right, we can move on. Let's talk a little bit about the College World Series because we got that going on right now. We're in the regular regionals. A lot of the series have ended. I know Tennessee, Kentucky, A&M all punched their tickets.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did you have to bring up Tennessee first?
Well, they were literally first.
Bailey's over there shaking his head. It's just not right.
They were first on my list because they're the number 1 team. What am I supposed to ignore? That's like talking about college basketball and just like leaving UConn out. You just don't do it. So,
oh man, he compared Tennessee baseball to UConn, Bailey.
The number 1 overall. I'm just saying the number 1 overall seed.
I'm joking. They are number 1 on the page. It's okay. Bailey's going to get over it. His Commodores went down, but it's okay. Yep.
Who?
now he's off for a couple months.
Who did they lose to again the second game? It was like a walk-off, wasn't it? High Point.
Don't know.
Yeah,
Bailey could probably tell us.
It was High Point on a walk-off. I was watching.
Dylan had the nerve to troll Bailey in an 8-0 game.
That was the first game.
8-0. They're getting pummeled by Coastal.
They were not out yet.
And he goes, "Hey Bailey, how's Vanderbilt doing?"
Well, here's Turner over
What
there
a
last week
monster.
on the podcast. Bailey's like, "Yeah, we got in Clemson's region," and Turner's like, "Oh, I've seen Clemson play. They suck."
Should have lost to High Point first game. Went on a walk-off.
Stomped everybody on their way. Already punched their ticket.
Should have lost to High Point.
Okay, so we've got a couple of tickets punched. We've got actually a lot of tickets punched. We've got multiple games today. I think there is 5 games left today, depending on if Oregon State and UC Irvine, who wins that game. Because if Oregon State wins and that series is over, they had to delay it. But I think
Aggies took out the Longhorns.
Yep. Well, the Aggies took out the Longhorns, and then the Longhorns threw up all over themselves against Louisiana. That was a brutal loss for my Longhorns. They had, speaking of my team losing, Bailey, see, it goes both ways. I have no idea.
You don't know about the pain. Buddy.
I don't. For baseball, I don't care, but
that's
for football, I do.
That's all Vanderbilt has, brother.
Yeah, but that's like, okay, but that's like saying like me when Texas loses football or like when they lost in the Elite Eight in basketball. It's the same thing.
No, but Texas is good at other sports.
Yeah, but I don't really care about those
I bet
things.
does Vanderbilt have a fencing team, Bailey?
They have a
I was
bowling
about to say fencing, bowling.
Bowling, fencing.
If they had a
same thing.
chess team, I could imagine they'd be really good.
Yeah, they win the science convention.
One of the
every
biggest,
year.
one of the biggest scandals when I was up at Texas Tech for a couple years was our chess team won back-to-back national championships. Okay, Texas Tech's chess team, and our team was basically stolen in broad daylight from us by, the Washington University, but it's in St. Louis, I guess. There's a Washington University there.
Yeah.
And they literally just like bought it, or they were like, hey, you guys go to Texas Tech. Would you like to come to what, and they're like, yeah, sure. And then they started winning national titles. Like, that is some bullshit. That was our pride and joy. The only thing we could win over there.
Yeah, that's
and yeah, at the portal, the chess portal, and not to mention the of course the old corner three from Virginia. The help on the layup, leave the guy wide open for three. And that cost him a national championship. But Bailey, Vanderbilt will be back stronger than ever before you know it. Another team that's kind of a surprise because they're middle of the pack of the SEC, but I guess this just shows you how good the SEC is that LSU gets a chance to play one game today against North Carolina at 5, and LSU comes in 44-22, but I don't know what their SEC record was. Were they as good as Vandy this year, Bailey, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bailey was saying 4 of the teams were like 13-17. That's just how hard the SEC is in a gauntlet. But they have North Carolina favored here, but I'm sure they'll choke it and LSU will move on. It seems like once they get to June in these regionals, they have a habit of getting deep in the tournament into Omaha. But anyway, it should be a fun what the regionals. Bailey's more of a diehard college baseball fan because he's a religious Vandy guy. But once we get into the supers in Omaha, it's always fun. I wished it seems like Texas and Texas A&M always end up in the same regional and knock each other out one way or the other. Or they occasionally do, but we'll see. I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick Bailey's favorite team to win it, Tennessee. Give me the Vols.
You just were shitting on me for bringing them up, and you didn't pick them to win the whole thing.
Makes for good content. Yeah, I would say I picked them, but Bailey says they're gonna choke it, so we'll see.
How dare you? I'm gonna take Bailey. Who are you rooting for to win the whole thing here? Whoever's playing against Tennessee. You know what?
Anybody but Tennessee.
I would have taken my Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, big Gaucho baseball guy.
I didn't say baseball. I said my Gauchos. I am a Gauchos guy. You know this. And I would have rooted for them, but they got beat by Oregon, upset twice. They're out. I'm miserable. I'm sick over it, to be honest. And so I can't root for them anymore. My Longhorns are out. Is Grand Canyon in?
No, they got knocked out.
Oh, they got knocked out. Damn, Grand Canyon. James. Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of the baseball teams, Indiana State, I know they didn't actually make the tournament, but they were really good in basketball. You had James Madison in the NCAA tournament in baseball and basketball. You had a couple of teams like that. That's interesting how that happens. Like
James Madison was knocked out by NC State, the Wolf Pack.
There you go. Like there's a lot of teams similar in here to the basketball bracket. Anyway, is Wofford normally good at baseball?
I have no idea. They may make it in the tournament occasionally from that conference, but I'm not too sure.
They're like aren't they an all-white school?
Wofford?
Yeah, aren't they?
Well, their basketball team always seems
That's
that
what
way.
I mean.
Yeah,
and the baseball team, I didn't see a black guy out there. I'm just saying. I'm not, whatever. I'm just, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that's what I saw. Anyway, enough about that. Let's move on. Okay. Couple other things. NCAA football, we tend to touch on this every week. NCAA football 25 coming out July 19th, I think it is. I mean, we're coming up on a month and a half away from the game. We're starting to see some gameplay. We saw the trailer a couple weeks ago. We're starting to see some actual clips of gameplay, some screenshots, maybe some recordings. Not gonna lie, it did look a little like Madden when I first saw a couple of the clips. I also found out that after I saw that there was crossplay for Online Dynasty or crossplay in the game, it's not for Online Dynasty supposedly, which makes absolutely zero sense. So you can crossplay on everything but Dynasty mode, which makes no sense because that's what people are going to want to crossplay on.
That's very strange.
Which also worries me because Ultimate Team is in the game, and if you're going to have crossplay, I think that's why they're doing, like, they want you to play Ultimate Team, right? That would be my guess. And so it's like that's where they make their money. I mean, that's what they make all their money.
Is that where you spend? I'm
Yes.
out of date on the old video
I don't
games.
play it. It's so stupid.
My brother said Jeremiah was saying something pretty funny that he's on all the college football message boards, and I guess this is where Notre Dame specifically. But he was saying that guys have already been like telling their wives and taking paid time off, or like when this game comes out. He's like, you're 38, like 45-year-olds are like, no, I'm taking the week off work. Don't bother me. Like, this is gonna be my vacation. And like,
this is like when GTA comes out type deal. Like, this is an occasion.
Sick, yeah. So,
I mean, I'm literally I don't have enough money to like waste money on a PS5, and I'm definitely gonna do it. Like, it's $399 for a PS5 right now. Like, that's the cheapest one you can get.
You might want to get one.
Yeah,
you might want to get one soon, because I figure once you get even closer to the release date, it's like everybody's gonna be picking them up.
Yeah, $399. $399 is it's the slim version. I don't know if that's like less space or whatever, but that's how much the cheapest one I've seen is, and it's pretty consistent. Like all the major stores, it's $399. So it's $399 for that plus the tax. That's going to be $425 total. So then you add in another. Basically, it's going to end up at $500 for the game and the console. And if I want a second controller, which I got to get for,
and you got to get the new Grand Theft Auto too, of course.
Yeah, so
just for old times,
throw in another $120. So we're at $650 right now. $650.
I could see Bailey having a lot of fun on Grand Theft Auto.
No, is it really
it
2
still?
years out?
I had no idea. I just remember that someone. Didn't they throw a kid in jail, Bailey, for like leaking footage of that? Did you hear that?
GTA?
There was leaked gameplay on like the new one that's coming out or something like that before they could do the trailer, and they found out who it was, and I think through the
never heard that. That's wild.
Yeah, it was a wild story.
I will say some of the funnier YouTube videos are those people who play that role play game on GTA, where
that's what I figured
they
Bailey
act
did.
like they're
yeah.
That's
what I mean. I bet you could make funny ones.
That would be. We could probably make funny videos doing that. Like, I've literally like seen like they'll like troll people. Like they'll go. It's crazy how serious these guys are. Like, I'm going into Chicago, the hood at night. Here's what I did for 24 hours, and they'll walk in and like literally. It's like, I'm curious what these people do with their lives, because they literally, there's a guy just like sitting by the car, just like standing there, and he walks up to him and he's like, hey, yo, you got any cocaine? And the guy's like responds like, yeah, hold on, let me take you back. And it's like he's sitting right there in fake time, just waiting for a real fake person to come up and ask him if he has any drugs. But then he takes him back, and then the guy ends up shooting him in the back of the head and then kills all the people in the hood. Crazy, dude. Like, that
would make for some great content, is teach Big Dog how to play that game and just let him run wild with his character. Make Big Dog with the hair running around, and like and just upload those videos.
Would last about 5 minutes before he said something to where we couldn't even show it. We should here's actually pretty interesting. If you live streamed him playing video games, he'd be a millionaire, and he's so easy. Like, if you could teach him how to play Grand Theft Auto and Madden, and you live streamed him playing that game, it would be fucking gold. It'd be gold.
He's taken forever to get here right now. I have a feeling he's dressed up as something.
Probably.
It's taken a lot of time. Like, your mom may have been doing his makeup back there. He's doing his own, or he hired a makeup artist to do it.
Fucking, honestly, he probably is coming in as a soldier. Because I know Bailey was in the other room purposely.
Bailey's
like,
laughing because I think he is. I think that's what's coming.
Well, because when we were sitting in here ready to go, it was like 11:15. Bailey was still in the other room. I'm like, what is he doing in there? Why is he still in there? And he's like sitting there and he's looking down and he's like texting like intently. And they must have been talking about like, no, I've got to get my soldier uniform on to come back in here.
And when I went to to get a drink over there, Bailey's like, I got to go to the bathroom. But he was like, hold on. He was talking to someone on the phone. I heard him say, hold on.
Of course,
there's a top secret meeting going on in the bathroom.
And here's the other thing. Last night when I was editing the Sam Kinsey episode of my dad's podcast, which I use podcast, that term lightly because he is not the best speaker.
How dare you?
But when I was looking at that, there was 3 files, right? There was 3 folders that go onto the drive. And the first one, it was Sam Kinsey 1, Sam Kinsey 2, and Sam Kinsey 3. And so I was looking, apparently they had shot it, like the first one was the actual like whole interview, right? Then apparently they shot a second thing where it was just my dad let me use the word trying to say an intro for him because he can't speak, like literally. And there's no pauses in his voice, so he just says the whole thing in one
Sounds
long
like
span.
AI.
Yeah,
Just
literally,
go,
yes.
There's no pausing.
Yes. And so anyway, then he was like, well, I didn't even click on it on purpose. He goes, well, I guess there was one more we shot. I don't know where it was. So I click on the third one and I open it, and he's on the phone talking to somebody about kicking. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. He was talking to me about UFL kicking, and I caught them red-handed. I found the conversation, and he goes, "Oh no, that might be the phone call. I don't know what it was. I'm not sure." And so they left it straight on the drive that I had the whole time. That's this top secret thing. He has something printed out, left in his printer that I found, and then he's got that fucking file on the drive that I'm fucking using to edit.
Well, they're
just not good at keeping secrets.
We already know that we already know that the Brahmas need a kicker.
Oh God, Ryan Santoso, man.
Guy's missed 5 in a row now.
Has he missed 5 in a row?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's 5 in a row. So Big Dog might very well be the kicker.
Dude, he kicked that thing last week. He had a look before, like they called timeout, and I think you never kick, especially if you're bad. Like if you're good and you just want to get your leg warmed up, like Justin Tucker, it's not gonna matter. But like if you're bad and the whistle blows because they called timeout and they snap the ball, you go to the left side and you just fake kick. You don't actually kick the ball because he made the kick, and then he goes back up there, and like the first kick was straight up and like it had a shot either way, whether it was going to push or not. The second one was a dead duck rolling to the goal
I almost
line.
thought someone got a finger on it, but it didn't look like they did. I think he just
toe
shanked
poked it.
In other funny news, talking to my niece last night, my brother's, she kicked. She's like, yeah, I kicked a soccer ball through the uprights from like the 40-yard line, which a soccer ball, she's got a good leg. She probably kick it. And then I was like, oh, that's impressive, whatever. And she's like, yeah, but, and then somehow we got in the conversation and she's like, yeah, football would probably be easier to kick through there. And me and my brother are just like, oh yeah, sure it is. So, so she's going to get back to us. She thinks she can kick a 50-yard field goal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 15-year-old girl.
If she can.
50-yard field goal. I go, if you can, we'll sign you up for the Brahmas.
That's
we'll take you out. I said, we'll take you
say.
out this week.
You'll take Big Dog's job. Yeah.
Get it on video if you can kick 50-yarders. That's impressive.
Fucking what?
Yep.
A kicking
that would be funny. We could have my 15-year-old niece against Big Dog in a kicking competition.
I like that.
Neither of them kick field goals and see who wins.
I do want to say, though, Wade did a heck of a job in that game leading the Brahmas back. I thought...
I was mad. I missed the game. I legitimately thought it was Sunday. Some fan I am. But so did my brother. He goes, turn on the Brahmas. I go, they played yesterday. He goes, no, they put it in, got on and looked, and he was wrong, too. I was like, no, we thought it was Sunday.
Yeah.
They do switch. I don't know what. They always switch back and forth.
Yeah,
I went to a game that was on a Sunday.
I forgot it was on, and I saw that it was 10-6 in like the early third or mid third. And I remember turning it on, like, why is Dormandy in the game? And speaking of, no, he really is, Bailey. Dormandy's really the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. And then the one thing I will say, Garantano's pretty bad too. The one thing I will say, I like the Super Challenge for sure, but I almost think you can't do it the way they do it, in the sense that, like, being able to challenge, and I get this is kind of how hockey does it, right? Like in terms of the fact that you can challenge anything with that challenge, right? Can't hockey challenge anything?
Not anything, but a lot of things.
Okay.
But yeah, not anything.
Well,
there are certain things you can't.
You can challenge anything. And so to me, it's like, okay, if we're going to say, like, you can challenge anything, how many plays can you go through and not find some sort of minor penalty
to try to challenge it?
Right. And it's like, okay, there's holding on this play. Like, what?
It seems like something that they have to figure out where, and like I said, I like it too for the most part, but they went to commercial break like after they took the lead, and the guys had like 3 minutes up in the box to be like, hey, you need to challenge us. There's a guy 10 yards down the field.
Literally.
It didn't happen. If it happened instantly and the coach was like, or someone from the box was like, he's downfield, and you challenge it right away. But once you go to commercial break for 2 minutes, and you're just sitting upstairs watching the play over, you're just looking for anything that they could call.
And
right?
that's what happened. Like, and they called an illegal man downfield.
It was
horrible.
The guy's an idiot for doing it, because you can't be even. I agree that he thought it was probably a run. Dormandy took too much time. But linemen are especially taught down there on the goal line from the 2-yard line, even if you're you think it could be a run, there's zero reason to go.
Yeah.
He was 7 yards deep in the end
Who
zone.
are you blocking for?
So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is going to be ticky-tacky. And then I saw it. I was like, oh, that's getting overturned.
That's what I thought, too.
Mike Pereira probably didn't want to call it, but then he's like, okay, the guy's 10 yards down the field.
See, and that's my issue with it is where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line?
God, there he is, folks.
Where do we draw the line to review it? Like, if he's 2 yards downfield, do we call it? Like, that's my problem.
No, probably not. If it's borderline,
so then what's challengeable and what's not?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
But I was glad that the Brahmas got in the playoffs anyway. We're gonna get to play.
We're gonna talk about the Brahmas.
Oh yeah, folks. Elvis has entered the building. Here he is. Oh, here he is. Coming. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, look at that. He brought me a case of minis. Oh my God, look at this. Like, really takes care of his own. He's gonna be asking for this back. He's gonna be collecting it back at the end of the podcast. We got it, folks. $10.
Hey, look, me and Ed used to eat at 7-Eleven.
Look at this.
Oh, my vet hat. Oh,
Keep your mic close to you.
yeah, I know my vet hat.
I've been telling people that are fans of the podcast, by the way, that you're back. That you're back.
Fucking back.
He's back.
Now, let me explain something to you. As Bailey's preparing something, I need to pull something up. I would like to get the photo of the girls up, but I want to say one thing.
Yes.
If I'm not allowed to come on the podcast, I'm going to do my own podcast and get a bunch. And let me tell you something. I come from the world of. Hold on.
Your own podcast.
Hold on.
You stole the whole set.
No, listen to me. And I come from the world of rock and roll, and there's nothing but women when it comes to rock and roll. And to prove, I'll do my own Big Dog podcast surrounded by beautiful women, and it will put you guys out of business.
Well, here's the thing. I actually, for one,
and I'm going to show you an example in a minute.
It could be under the umbrella of channels. I think
who's going to edit that thing?
Oh, I'll get.
Oh, please. Please.
I'll get one of the chicks.
Yeah.
One of the girls. But hold on. Just to prove, we're going to try to get this up. No, by the way, you can cut this later because I would like Bailey to get all my presentations ready. Although these aren't the real presentations. Y'all guys are on a subject right now that I want to talk about. It's that fucking kicker from the Brahmas.
Good God.
2 weeks in a row.
I think he's
that
rattled.
son of a what?
I think he's rattled. I think he's heard rumors.
And you know why he's rattled?
In town, huh?
Do you know why he's rattled? Because Big Dog called their offices.
Oh boy!
And I talked Karen, one of the assistants, into me doing a tryout.
Oh boy! Are we gonna get to see this?
And you know what? You're going to get to see it because she loves this idea.
Oh boy!
She's serious about it. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Found in the copier.
Yeah. Well, this is a different one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
now. Hold on. What is this?
It's top secret. It says top secret on the folder.
Oh, there we go.
Confidential.
And the camera's rolling.
That's the actual letter you left in there. I saw that.
No, this is a different one.
Dylan,
well, I got 3 letters total. One is I'm going to go to. Well, you haven't seen the new one today. I got off the phone with her. No, you're not going to read this because we're going to present it. Well, this is top secret shit.
I know.
To read it's like Trump in the documents case. I don't keep this shit in the bathroom. No, this is for Turner to read later. Yeah, later. Okay. Present. This is from musician to gridiron gladiator press release.
Oh my God!
And Turner's going to read this on the air.
It'd be my honor, an honor and a privilege.
I just want you to read. I'm not your typical musician. I want you to read the first just couple of lines of this. Just a couple. Can you see Turner on the screen?
Chris Lieck, from musician to gridiron gladiator.
Thank you.
Chris Lieck is not your typical musician.
Thank you.
Born with a passion for music and sports.
Thank you.
Chris led a dual life from a young age. Growing up, he was known for his impressive musical talents, honing his skills as a guitarist and songwriter.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
But it was on the football field where Chris truly made a name for himself. In high school, Chris was a standout athlete, known for his incredible kicking ability.
Thank you.
Renowned for his long-range field goals. He wowed spectators with his knack for sending the ball sailing through the uprights from distances up to 60 yards.
60
wrote this.
60 yards.
His success in both music and sports, Chris chose to pursue a career in music, captivating audiences
all over the world,
melodies and electrifying performances. Over the years, he established himself as a respected musician and producer, collaborating with artists across various genres and earning accolades for his contributions to the music industry. Now at the age of 60, Chris finds himself at a crossroad. Fueled by a lifelong passion for football,
we'll have photos in here too.
He's set his sights on a new challenge, trying out for the UFL. With determination and grit, Chris is ready to step onto the gridiron once again, proving that age is no barrier to pursue one's dreams. As he embarks on this new chapter in life, Chris remains grateful for the experiences and opportunities that music has afforded him.
I'm rich.
Whether on
I'm
stage
rich. What that means is I'm
or
rich.
on the field, one thing is certain. Chris Lieck is a force to be reckoned with, determined to leave his mark on whatever path he chooses to pursue. And we got lots of plugs here. ChrisLeak.com, ChrisLeakStudios.com, Recording Biz, TejasRecords.info, Comia.biz, and San Antonio Voice.
And that's not all my companies.
No.
That's
it's
not
only a select few.
It's a select few.
Only a select few.
Officially
and we have the letter. Oh my God.
That officially fucking proves that he is 100% a narcissist.
Do you want me to read this?
No, I just have
to read this to the
Shrink
people?
already diagnosed me. I'm not a full narcissist. So real quick.
Just partial.
Partial narcissist.
No, she said tendencies.
Tendency. Oh,
not narcissistic at all.
tendencies.
Okay, all right.
How
I just
long
have
did
a
she
few.
See you?
I was a client with her. She's a top shrink. She was one of my clients. And she said, I said, am I a narcissist? She goes, tendencies, not narcissist.
Yes.
All right.
That's just from her being around you, not actually evaluating you.
Now, I want to say something. We're going to cut right now because we're going to get this break of all these letters that I'm going to show on the screen. So we need Bailey to get that up.
Okay.
He has this is a whole fucking folder that's called Podcast Big Dog. Look at it. I mean, it's fucking.
There I am again. Let's
There
take that
they
down.
are.
All right. So now we're doing Shamako women.
All right, Shamako first.
All right.
Oh my
Now,
God.
right now, if y'all don't let me on the podcast, see those girls that I got for a rock and roll party?
Yeah.
Look where Shamako is right now.
Wow.
In the middle of a Vegas party. That's the kind of podcast I'm going to do right in the middle where I'm going to be sitting. And guess who's going to be in my right? Shamako.
Oh, that would be special.
And I will have Shamako and some other, but that's what it's going to look like. And what do you think is going to do better, y'all's podcast or that right there with me in the middle?
Clearly that.
Okay.
But I will say, if I think your wife would shut this idea down.
Oh,
obviously.
no. I grew up with this.
If you had Shamako and you just brought his girlfriends from the Mexican food restaurant
Yes.
that probably have restraining orders on them, and I don't know if I
Yeah,
should
they
say
do,
that on
but
the
don't
show.
worry about that.
But if you had them on, it would make for some must-watch television.
Oh, my God. Me and
Or
Shamako
YouTube
and the
videos.
waitresses.
Yes, and the
But I'm going to let you know.
I don't understand. What are we doing here?
Listen.
We're just showing pictures, and
No,
I have to
I-
edit your stupid pictures.
No,
in?
listen to me. You're not paying attention.
He's
My
been
point.
gone a month, dude. He's got a lot to cover.
I got a lot to cover. Number one is I'm going to make them quick edits. Number one is if you don't let me continue to do the podcast, my first thing was this is what's going to happen. That's
What?
all I'm saying.
Take
that
it
I'm going to
over.
have chicks like that on my podcast and do my own Big
No,
Dog
you're not.
podcast.
You'll never
Yes,
do that.
I will. Right here in this room.
Is this going to be edited onto the video, or do I need to describe what's going on?
No,
here?
they're going to see it. They're going to see
Because
it.
it's
Now let's
clearly
go to
a
Caitlin.
Photoshop
Now
video
we're going to
of
Caitlin
Shamako.
Clark. Now we're
I'm
going
gonna
to
need these files. By the way.
Well, now we're going to Caitlin Clark.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see
Now, this is a big controversy today and everywhere.
Yeah.
Right here, there's a foul going on. Everyone's talking about this. And play's kind of over. Here we go. Boom. Boom. Right there. She knocks the crap out of her. Just real quick, Carter. Number one, I'm going to make these quick so Dylan doesn't have a lot of editing. I want to challenge that, you know what, to a fucking basketball game. I get on the social media, my PR girl, because I got a new one for the record label. No, the girl that hit her, Carter. I want to challenge Carter to take her on one-on-one. But here's the thing. This is bullshit. Hey, did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said this morning?
You tore a tendon in your finger playing pickleball. You think if you didn't play basketball, you wouldn't last 5 seconds?
Oh, bullshit. I
gave you
dead.
a tribute earlier in the podcast. I said that if that mallet finger kept you from playing guitar, we've lost an American icon.
No, fuck
the
no.
mallet finger.
No, I hired a specialist already. I'm not joking. I already saw him Wednesday. So real quick, but let's keep it. You don't want to
see a doctor.
Do you want? No, he's a specialist. Do you want to make this quick edits or not? Now, Caitlin's footage right here. Now, I want to talk to you about this. This Carter girl goes online and she says, this girl says that she said, what the hell has she done for the league? What the hell? All she does is shoot 3-pointers. And I'm going to tell you what that is. And I tengo the huevos de toro to do it. I have the balls of a fucking bull to say this. That's reverse racism. That's called, a white girl comes on into the NBA, and all these black girls are attacking her. That is reality. So we're going to call racism what it is today in society, then let's call it what it is. And it is reverse racism.
Just so we're clear, what you're describing is racism. There's no reverse racism.
Well, you don't normally say racism when it comes to white people. You say it because people don't ever claim racism when they're white. They don't say that. So to me, okay, all right, you can use, I call it reversed. It's weird. It's awkward racism. It's out of the context of and I have the balls to say it. And I have the ball. Don't I have the balls to say it?
My God.
And maybe a few of these players have the balls. No, maybe a few of these WNBA players share my balls. They do. And the coach from Iowa State. They share my balls.
Who can forget that beauty?
Yeah, she for sure shares them. Now, that's what I wanted to say. Watch this. Boom. Ridiculous. I'm going to take her on one-on-one.
There's a little bit of a flop going on there, too.
Yeah. No, there's no flop. And now I have become a Caitlin fan.
Oh, sweet
my
Jesus,
God.
For the love of God.
I'm in now. Oh, my God. Because when you have reverse racism, I'm in. And Clayton covered that the best way we all know. So now let's move on. Clayton. Clayton talked about it.
Oh, Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, he talked about it. Clayton Bigsby talked.
Stop.
I mean, he did.
First of all, it's one of the greatest comedy sketches
of all time.
Yeah, but you can't quote it.
Next to Dave Chappelle.
I didn't say quote it.
Next to Dave Chappelle having his own tennis shoe workshop in his basement. He didn't have just a closet full of Adidas. He had a full basement full of people working for him. From Vietnam.
Just like those jackets that you order from Malaysia?
Yeah. Now, real quick, I have an announcement to make. Dylan's going to have to roll this.
Okay.
We're going to roll the trailer coming up. Yeah. Now, real quick, after 25 years,
oh my God,
we are releasing a record. It's going worldwide. We got a major campaign. I ain't joking about this. There's going to be $35,000 spent on this album to promote. And right now, get a load of this. Already pre-ordered in albums, which means you get $10 an album, $25 if I sign one. We're at $12,000. Do the math financially. It's $125,000.
Holy
shit. So real quick, and guess where I sold them? But real quick, I want to air this, and I'll tell you where my sales are.
Door to door?
No, not the label's not door to door. Australia, I love it.
No, I forgot. Yeah, you're big in Australia. You're like
this is beyond Australia now.
But you're like searching for sugar.
We're doing shows
where he goes to South America or South
that's
Africa.
Japan too.
No, South Africa, and he finds out he's the biggest star in the world.
KK Wild is back. Roll my fucking trailer.
Roll the fucking tape.
We've established that. Dylan has a new song coming out as well.
That's the biggest
he does.
thing I've ever seen.
No, he does. And this is Dylan's new song. Okay?
Yeah, everything is rigged.
Everything is rigged.
I love it.
And
I love it.
This is when you watch a football, basketball, whatever the hell he's betting on game, everything is rigged. And so we at the studio wrote a song for him called Everything is Rigged. My band's going to play for it. Yeah, Shamako's going to guest on it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he's going to sing it.
Did that actually happening or zero?
No, I'm doing the song. And so we're going to release it, and Dylan's going to be where that kid's face is. Okay? All right?
That's all you have?
No, that's not it. No, we're just starting, brother.
Oh, please. He's got a whole list of things. He's never written this much in his life. Look at this. This is months worth.
Hey,
look at that. That's 3 pages, dude. Oh, 4 pages.
Hold on.
Smokes.
Non lean. That means let's hurry up. In Vietnamese, and that you can look that up.
What?
Non lean means hurry up.
Oh, okay.
Tell him Bailey. Now, I want to say one thing. Come on, Noi, Vietnam, Choi Wei. That means thank you very much, Vietnam, because they ordered 3,000 units.
Oh.
And the reason they ordered 3,000 units in statue that I have.
Stop clapping.
No, he has to. If you had this,
oh my!
In what town is this, Bailey?
Oh my God.
Quezon. I was pulling shrapnel him out of my ass in Quezon where y'all were wiping diapers. Okay,
guys,
he's trying to quote Point Break, and he fucked the lineup, and he's seen the movie 1,000 times, and he still can't say the line.
I was taking shrapnel. Yeah, read my stats.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
Kills 2,538. Civilians saved. What's assist?
I want it focused.
Hold on.
Heads stomped. Why is he capturing flags?
Well, I did a lot of shit over there.
Field goal, 68 yards.
Oh, because I left
God.
Vietnam to go kick for state. Let's just pull up one of those. Seriously, right there.
AI.
And that's Bailey's dad holding for me.
He's holding for
That's
you?
Bailey's dad.
Oh, my
Manny
God.
Pletz in 1974.
That young buck looks like he can hold.
That's
right
Alamo
there.
Heights. That's the Heights uniform.
Oh my
there we
God.
are. But real quick, and I paid the price when I went back. I paid the fucking, look at that, Turner. Because let me tell you something right now.
Oh,
Bailey,
no,
let's
that's
pull
a
up the right thing, okay?
Come on, Bailey.
I paid
Let's
the
get it together.
price. What am I doing here?
What is this, amateur hour?
Yeah, come on, Bailey. Let's get this shit
This
together.
man and everybody
Close
at home.
that. We got to pay.
to move the mic on his leg. I mean,
Well, don't click the wrong one. Oh, there he is. That was it. Leave that one up. I got to send that to somebody.
Oh, that's a
there it is.
letter I wrote to my loved ones when I was over there. Okay.
I can't. Dear America.
Dear America. Well, hold on. Will you find the fucking one? No, that's. Well, I was drinking a Coke there. Not that. I'm drinking a Coke.
That's an
I was
ad.
fucking
That's
injured.
an ad.
No, I was an ad.
Yes, he did an ad.
Look at all my
for
pussy
Coca-Cola.
guys over there smoking their cigarettes. They're all afraid.
Oh my!
Where is
God.
my shot?
Bailey.
Okay. Well, Bailey, you're going to find
want
it.
to
You need to
talk
have it where
about-
you can see the thumbnail. There I am.
Oh, my.
Pure injured on the field. I got injured like right after I did that. And that's why I got the statue.
That's why they built it.
Yeah.
For you?
In case,
I mean,
Yeah, right there.
Why do you want to talk about the fact that his face
is that the guy that you meet up?
is
for
the
Yes.
same
Yes.
as it is now?
yes, it's a guy I meet up with, okay?
Oh my God!
Oh, my God.
This
I'll
has got to
tell
be
you what.
illegal in some states.
Oh, hell no. So, look at that shit. That was a fucking bitch. Then I went back to Kicker State. That was
What
a bitch.
happened?
I got shot 3 times.
What do you mean? He was going down. He was going down in those Viet Cong holes.
And
Head
Turner
first.
liked those statues again. And there's a book coming out about me. I don't know if you have that one, Bailey, but let's.
There it is.
How
I won the war.
story.
It's the story of Big
Forwarded
Dog,
by
forwarded
who?
by Donald J. Trump.
There, look at that shit. Oh yeah, okay. But now,
Why?
no.
No, please.
But as I go,
He made AI pictures of himself.
no, I does not. I don't even
And
know what
typed in-
AI schmy
typed in
schmy.
He
Yeah.
typed
When I
in,
pull,
"Make me a
look at that
Vietnam
shit.
vet."
I'm drinking a Coke while those motherfuckers are all afraid. I'm sitting there enjoying an old Coke.
Oh,
But let's
my
just say
God.
one thing. Real quick, I just want to say one last thing. You always project what you want it to be in life. And I am trying out. There's no joke there. Karen answered.
no, I know.
We're going to show you the phone call. Just for real.
Listen,
and
I
guess
think he's
what?
gonna win the
Guess what?
job.
This morning I called the office again because can you believe she actually emailed me and said, hey, do you want to do the tryout tape? So I said, projection matters. Dylan needs to learn this. You do. When you project your thoughts onto what you want to do, this is the result of it. There I am going to be for the
First of all, you lied about your age and said you're 55.
Yeah,
I like
well,
that too.
I am
That's a
55.
nice added element to that.
Look at that fucking shit.
Oh my God!
Bleak Brahmas, ESPN, the whole thing.
That is incredible.
I mean, you can't make this
can't make
shit
it up. Can't
So-
make it up.
La huevos de toro means the dingo, and I love that one. That was a great moment for me. I haven't been back there in a while, but now that I'm going to sell records, you know what I decided? I'm going to Kaesong. Is that what it is, Bailey, where I was? And I'm doing a concert to sell and sign those records that they ordered. So you're going to have footage of that and everything.
Is Bailey going to go document the concert?
Yeah, he's coming with me and Alex. They're going to have their own hotel room about 6 miles from me.
It's 6 miles.
Because I don't like anybody around me when I'm on the road.
Yeah, of course.
But I do want to say I'm back. And this is a lot of things to absorb at once because
It really
more's
is.
coming.
Yeah.
There's the hole in one. There's the chip shot. There's a girl that followed me around the golf course, and we had to, do something about that. We had to take her out. But anyway, there's a lot of things coming.
Were you there?
He was there, and we had to. Alex is the one that fucked that up. Alex, we just said to not, get her out. Not
what golf course did y'all go to?
We went to mine. She was a KK Wild fan. Came out of the fucking bushes like a fanatic, and we had to do something about it. We took care of it.
Oh my god!
When you had big time, it's just hard to keep everything.
We had to take care of her.
He paid somebody to do that so they could film it to make it look like somebody actually knows who he is.
So really, that's that for today. I'm done. I exit on a high, and I'm back. And so you're going to see a series of things coming out on me. But we talked the topics today. Vietnam was there, big balls, memorial, a lot of records sold, going back, doing a concert. We talked about the USFL. Can you believe I'm going to get a tryout? I'm also going to play the halftime show and fucking rock the place down. And they'll have 6,000 fans.
That would be awesome if you came out in uniform.
Oh, I am. And then I'm going to do – but when I go, they'll be sold out. And then we talked about Caitlin's. I'm becoming a fan. Yeah. I think I'm going to turn around and be a fan.
I don't necessarily like that, but Yeah,
I know. We'll talk. I can change.
You know what? You have to do that, though, because if your wife's going to let you come on this podcast, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. She said he could come on if he defends Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, the thing about my wife is she's never had any bearing on anything that I do and has no say in anything that I do. I do whatever I want. Always have.
Let me ask you this. Because I know the people are going to ask online, right? I mean, we got to talk a little interview.
And make sure you get all those photos in there.
When do we think the new album will release? When will the people?
Pre-release is already there. They're gonna do a called the soft single first, out in about a week.
And Dylan might not like this, but we will put a link in the bio.
Hell yeah!
To sell the
combat, the kicker in combat.
And
we'll see that.
Oh my God, majestic! Look at that. We got to get that on the pod. Hey, leave that up. Leave that up. I got to send a picture. Of that.
You got it.
You got to hold on. I got to take a picture of that and send it to my brother. He's going to love that. I mean,
because not only did and we talked, and we also talked about how I left Nam and went and kicked at state and went back. That's coming up on the podcast. Yeah, PBS special.
So
you understand? We had a PBS special. Went to KLRN. Me and him, and they're doing something on me. So you're gonna. Who's the actor he likes?
Okay, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Who's the actor you like, Dylan?
Okay, Crocodile Tears.
Yeah, he narrated it.
What are you talking about?
My PBS documentary.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, they got an AI.
No,
AI
schmai.
Please.
There's no AI. I don't even know what that stands for.
Neither do I.
am old school. I barely can use this phone.
Yeah, he's only 50.
All right, me and my staff
55.
here, they're antiquated. My staff don't know anything about technology. No, not quite. Hold on. I want to know that I'm back, and I'm going to have a lot of things coming up. The Kicker in Combat. I don't remember that book, but anyway, all right. I guess I wrote it. So, I did a lot of things in Live Turner I don't remember. But I want to say that Big Dog is back with Los Huevos de Toro, which means a new shirt that's going to be 2 big balls, maybe Iowa State's coach on top, and then me underneath.
And you guys don't forget it at home, all right?
All right.
Big Dog takes care of his people.
Yeah, y'all go get some lunch or something. I might even kick you another 5. What the fuck?
I mean,
I'm going to give you another 5.
Let's see it then.
I'll give you another 5 each.
He doesn't have listen.
Look,
he's got the big bills on the outside, okay? He's got to do a lot of digging.
How much do I carry with me at a time? About 14,000. Oh, yeah, you're right. Shit, okay. All right, thank you. Hey, I love you, fans. I'm back, and I'll see you in the next episode.
And don't forget to buy the CD. We're putting
when it comes out. We're doing pre-release. Pre-release means that you order all over the world. The label gets the orders, and they're going to see what the numbers are. Right now, I'm probably about $100,000, which means my cut will be $65 with the guys. I don't give Steve a little bit. I'll give Brian a little bit, and just a couple bucks. I'll give him out of the $65,000. I'll tell you, Steve, we give $5,000, and then it's Brian $5,000.
I mean, I think you're the start.
But I'm already looking at.
Everybody would understand that.
I'm looking at some cars with that money.
Oh, of course.
So basically, I've already started looking last night. So I'm looking at a black one. So I want to say thank you to my fans. And I'm the guy that says the shit you don't want to say.
That's right.
And I have the balls to say it.
Always keeping it real.
Real, 100%.
Thank you, Big Dog. I'm glad you're back. I know America. I know America is happy you're back. The one thing I will say to everybody at home, Big Dog loves to come in here and have a little fun. But it's a fictional character, and he bases his life off of Tropic Thunder. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Fictional character, loves to have a little fun with you guys, and it's all up to Dylan what goes on the podcast or doesn't.
Of course, it's my
I
responsibility.
wash my hands when it comes to this.
You are the one who participates in it.
Oh my God! Please. Yeah.
Do we? I
don't think we have anything else after that, do we?
Yeah,
I want to talk about
thing.
Robert McIntyre winning.
You can talk about that if you want.
I thought it was cool that Robert McIntyre won the RBC. Dylan doesn't like him because he was complaining about a drone on 11, apparently. But the first time his dad ever caddied for him, and everybody loves him over in Europe, he wins with his dad on the bag. It was cool. It was cool to see. He tried to kind of choke it away. It got tight there at the end, but he played good enough golf to win. It was cool that he won with his dad on the bag. So
he was extremely emotional for winning that tournament.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'd have to look.
Is he young?
I don't think he may have won one more time in America, but I don't know. Yeah, he's relatively young.
No, I think he had never won the PGA.
I don't think he had either. Yeah, I think that was the deal. But he's always on. He has been on the last couple Ryder Cup teams. He's highly thought of. And to win with his dad on the bag was pretty cool. But I don't know how anybody in America to even focus on sports or anything after having Big Dog come in here and fucking rock it like that. Not many people can do it.
We need to pick picks for the Belmont Stakes, and that's it. We'll get out of here.
I didn't know we're talking about the Belmont.
They're on. It's on Saturday.
Give me the horses. We didn't talk Preakness. We missed Preakness.
I know, that was my fault. Okay, so who ended
Mystic Dan obviously did not win the Preakness. So
he actually, I think he got second.
Yeah, he was okay. He was in I think he won by a nose at second. Was never really going to win. It was weird because I watched the replay of the race. It was a classic sloppy track, and they weren't going They weren't going very fast at the front. Horse in the front just ended up winning.
Yeah, he hung on the whole way.
Yeah.
And he was
who do we got? Let's go look at the Belmont Stakes.
I got it. It's Sierra Leone is the favorite at 7-4. Fierceness 3-1. Mystic Dan 5-1. Seize the Gray 6-1. Torpedo Anna 10-1. Antiquarian 12-1. Honor Marie 12-1. Dornoch 12-1. The Wine Steward 18-1. And then there's two more that don't have odds that I see on here. Catching Freedom and Tuscan Gold.
They may have been scratched or something.
It says possible for odds.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna pick Sierra Leone. I wouldn't bet. Back when I wasn't retired, I wouldn't bet on a horse with that, little odds. But if you're just picking the race, I think he's gonna win because he, like we said, had the worst trip in the Kentucky Derby, still nearly won, and had a lot of juice at the end.
Yeah,
bumped 5 wide coming around both corners. The Belmont, he's getting a little bit more room to run. The stretch there is an incredibly long stretch. Once he gets out there, if the pace is good for him, I think he wins pretty easy.
Did he not run in the Preakness?
No.
What's 7-4, plus 170, something like that?
Yeah.
So plus 175. So yeah, I definitely am not taking Fierceness. I made that mistake last time. That guy, that horse was supposed to be the fastest horse by far, and he had no. Is it a shorter race than the?
No, Belmont's the longest. They get longer in distance.
Then I definitely
Belmont's
won't go
a mile and a half.
Huh. I have I'm feeling. I have a weird feeling that the Wine Steward is going to win 18-1.
I like the name.
The Wine Steward. That's who I'm betting on. I'm going with the Wine Steward, the long shot. Although I do like Tuscan Gold, dude. That's a great name as well.
Yeah.
I just don't see odds for him, so I don't know if he's actually racing. I'll go with the Wine Steward. Lock it in. That's a lock of the week right there.
Lock of the week.
All right. I don't know if I did I didn't do a business of the week. What's a good San Antonio business shout out? I didn't do one. I guess at this point, maybe it's just too late. I'll just skip it till next week.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something, but I got nothing.
All right, I've done a lot of my go-to spots, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wait, I was actually thinking about this because I went there last night. I hadn't been eating sugar, and I did eat dessert last night. Is Marble Slab a franchise, or are they only in Texas?
No, I think they're franchised.
Okay.
I think.
I'm just curious.
I know you're a big Marble Slab guy.
I love Marble Slab. Got to get the birthday cake ice cream.
The birthday cake ice cream at Marble Slab.
Yes. Office is in Atlanta, Georgia. So, all right. I guess that's all we got for this one. We will wrap this up. We'll be back next week to talk NBA Finals. I think we'll have a couple games under our belt when we come back next week.
Should be 2 games in.
We're gonna go through, like, coming up, start doing some NFL and college football previews, so tune in for that. Obviously, we've got some good content coming with Big Dog going to kick in the UFL. I'm not sure about the other stuff, but we'll see what we decide to actually release.
Did y'all actually go film on the golf course, Bailey? Oh, yeah, he signed an NDA.
He signed an NDA. Yeah, so make sure to like this video, comment, let us know what you think about Big Dog's return. Let us know what you think about what you saw. Tell us your picks for the Belmont Stakes, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, we're trying to get over 2,000 subscribers here soon on our climb to 5K. So thanks.
And don't forget to purchase the KK Wild CD when it's out.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description.
Yes, you will.
Sure, I will. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.
Dude, there's nothing.